You spend 20 years building the perfect life, the house, the money, the respect of everyone who matters. Tonight, you're about to throw the greatest party anyone has ever seen. And in 6 weeks, you will be arrested, stripped of everything, and thrown into a cell you will never leave. You just don't know it yet. This is the story of the most expensive mistake in the history of power, and the one rule almost everyone eventually breaks. The year is 1661. France is ruled by a 22-year-old king named Louis XIV, but the man who actually runs the country's money is someone else entirely. His finance minister, Nicolas Fouquet. Fouquet is brilliant, charming, ruthlessly efficient. He controls the treasury, commands loyalty from half the nobility, and has quietly become one of the richest men in Europe. Officially, his salary is modest. Unofficially, everyone in Paris knows exactly how he really made his fortune. He takes a cut of every loan the crown makes, a commission on every contract. It is corruption, yes, but it is also simply how the game of French finance is played. Every minister before him did the same thing, just more quietly. Fouquet does not do anything quietly. With his fortune, Fouquet buys the small island of Belle-Île and fortifies it, his own private stronghold, just in case. He builds a spy network inside the court. He funds poets, playwrights, painters. Molière himself performs under his patronage. Fouquet isn't just wealthy, he is building a court of his own right next to the king's. And then he decides to build something that will outshine every palace in France. He buys the land at Vaux, south of Paris, and hires the 3 greatest artists of the age: the architect Louis XIV, the painter Charles Le Brun, and the landscape designer André Lenotre, the same trio who will later build Versailles. But right now, in 1658, they work for Fouquet first. For 3 years, 18,000 workers labor on the estate. Fouquet levels 3 villages to make room for the gardens. The final result is breathtaking. Symmetrical fountains stretching to the horizon, a dome modeled on the ideals of Rome, silk-lined rooms lit by 1,000 candles. It is, by every account, more beautiful than any residence the King of France has ever lived in, and Fouquet knows it. In the summer of 1661, Fouquet makes his decision. He will invite the young king to Vaux-le-Vicomte for a party unlike anything France has ever witnessed. His advisors warn him. Some beg him not to do it. Showing the king something grander than the king's own home is dangerous. Fouquet doesn't listen. He believes if the king sees his brilliance firsthand, he will be rewarded with an even higher position, perhaps the highest position in France. He sends the invitation. The king says yes.
August 17th, 1661. 6,000 guests arrive at Vaux-le-Vicomte. The gardens are lit by fireworks that seem to set the sky on fire. A specially built canal reflects 1,000 torches like a second sky beneath their feet. Molière premieres a brand new play, written specifically for tonight, with the king seated in the front row. Dinner is served on solid gold plates. There are so many dishes that Fouquet had to build an entirely new kitchen wing just to prepare the feast. Nothing like this has ever been seen in France, not even in the king's own palace at the Louvre. The guests are stunned into silence, and somewhere in that silence, the King of France is doing something very different from being impressed. Louis XIV walks through gardens more perfect than his own. He eats from plates richer than his own. He watches a play performed for him in a theater more advanced than anything he owns. And with every room, every fountain, every course of the meal, one thought grows louder in his mind. If a mere finance minister lives like this, Whose money is he actually living on? The king does not smile. He does not compliment his host. Historians say he leaves that night having already made a decision. Some accounts even claim he considered arresting Fouquet on the spot, but held back, not wanting a scandal at his own party. 3 weeks later, Fouquet travels to Nantes for a meeting with the king. He has no idea what is coming. As he steps outside afterward, he is arrested, not by an ordinary guard, but by D'Artagnan, captain of the king's own musketeers. Yes, the real D'Artagnan, the man who would later inspire the Three Musketeers. Fouquet's home is raided, his papers are seized, and among them, investigators find something that seals his fate. Letters revealing his private fortress on Belle-Île, and a private network of loyalists positioned throughout the country. To the king, it doesn't look like ambition anymore. It looks like a threat to the throne itself. The trial drags on for 3 years. Most of the judges lean toward exile, but Louis personally intervenes and pushes for the harshest sentence available, life imprisonment, in the most remote fortress in France, Pignerol, near the Italian border. Fouquet will spend the next 19 years in a cell, almost completely isolated from the outside world, until his death. Meanwhile, the king quietly does something remarkable. He hires the exact same architect, the same painter, the same landscape designer who built Vaux, and he sets them to work on a swampy piece of land outside Paris. Its name is Versailles. It will become the most magnificent palace in the history of Europe, but this time, there will be no mistake about who it belongs to. This is the first law in the 48 Laws of Power, and Fouquet is the example the book itself opens with: never outshine the master. It is not enough to be brilliant. You have to manage how your brilliance makes the people above you feel. Fouquet's real crime was never corruption. Half the court was doing the same thing. His real crime was making a 22-year-old king feel, for one single night, smaller than his own servant. So the next time you succeed, the next time you build something you're proud of, ask yourself Fouquet's question. Too late for him, but not for you. Who is standing next to you in that moment? And how does your success make them feel?